Found that storytelling was a very popular occupation. I mean, who here hasn't told a story at some time or another? In the days prior to writing, this was how the people passed down their history, how to avoid certain animals in the woods, so forth. They would have storytellers who would tell these tales year after year after year, person after person after person. Well, I found that in Hungary, that among the most popular storytellers were the common folk, the craftsmen, the laborers, the shoemakers. And so I would invite you all to come join me in my shoemaking shop this afternoon as I tell a story, one from my land. Good day, my lord. How may I assist you? Your boot. You damaged your boot. Let me look. Let me look. It does not look too bad. I believe I can fix this. I can do this while you wait. So please, sit. Enjoy. Now how did you do this damage to your boot? Hunting, you say? What, squirrels? Rabbits? Oh, have you ever tried anything larger, like stags, deer? Well, while I work, do you mind if I tell you a story? This is a story that goes back to our land. Began many years ago, across the mountains, in the lands beneath the rising sun. There was a great chieftain, Menra, and he and his wife had many children. He had many wives too, but his favorite children were his firstborn, twins, Hunor and Magor. Well, Menro was a great hunter, and he taught his sons to be great hunters as well. And so they would go out together frequently and hunt. Well, there came upon a day, when Menro was not able to go out, but the two boys wished to. So Hunor and Magor, they went out with their households and hunting, and they had a fairly decent hunt. But toward the end of one day, off in the distance, they saw a wondrous white stag gleaming in the sunset. And they both thought, we must have this. We must have this stag. So they began chase. They chased all night. They chased all day the next day. They chased the next night. Ever the stag would never be close enough to them to actually capture, but would never be far enough away that it would be out of sight. Eventually, they did this for a week. They followed this stag, again, never getting close enough to capture. Until one day the stag came to the shoreline of a large lake. It stopped, and the two boys, Hunar and Magar, they also stopped and thought, now we will get it. But the stag, it went into the water and crossed the water to the island in the midst of it. Obviously, the boys were not going to let this get away, so they too went into the water and into the lake and onto the island. And there on the island, they found another people living, and they found a number of maidens dancing, celebrating at this point. So the two boys, and as is in their tradition, they captured the two most beautiful, boys will be boys, they captured the two most beautiful and took them to their father. and said, we must marry them. He granted permission. Moreover, he granted great land beyond the lake. Hunor and Magor and their wives took the land, took possession of the land bestowed to them, apologize please, bestowed to them by their father, and they grew numerous. So numerous that in years later, they developed into more than 100 clans. Well, they outgrew the land that they had and had to find more lands. So the children of Hunor, who now were known as the Huns, they went west, crossed the mountains into Hungary, into our lands, and captured and took possession here and stayed. Meanwhile, the sons of Magor, they stayed, but yet they became too numerous, and years later, they too crossed the mountains into these lands, the Magyars, led by the great Duke Arpad. The Huns that were still here and the Magyars got together, and they formed this great land that we have. And that is why, to the outside world, we are known as Hungary, but to us, here in our land, we are Magyarország. So, when you go hunting, good sir, keep to what you're looking for. For if you should see a white stag, you never know where it may take you. Your boot is now done. Thank you. Half a groat. Thank you, sir. Good day and good luck. And watch out for that white stag.